The laughter of a family birthday party filled the air as Maxine Zazzara, always the life of the gathering, shared her infectious joy with loved ones. Known for her warm heart and bright smile, Maxine, a 44-year-old mother and devoted wife, cherished these moments of happiness. But on March 27, 1985, her laughter would echo in memory alone. That night, evil breached the comfort of her home in Whittier, California, unleashing a horror that would haunt the city. The scene inside the Zazzara residence the next morning was beyond comprehension. Investigators were met with a chilling sight. Maxine Zazzara and her husband Vincent lay brutally murdered. Signs of ritualistic violence suggested the work of someone driven by darkness. The killer had gouged out Maxine's eyes, leaving a terrifying message. This was no ordinary crime. This was the work of the Night Stalker. Richard Ramirez, the man who would become known as the Night Stalker, stalked the streets of Los Angeles from June 1984 to August 1985. His reign of terror left residents in a state of paralyzing fear. With a penchant for satanic rituals and a seemingly random selection of victims, Ramirez was an anomaly, a predator who thrived on chaos and cruelty. But it was the ordinary civilians of Los Angeles who would eventually bring his rampage to an end. The Night Stalker's method was as unpredictable as it was terrifying. He struck homes without warning, entering through unlocked windows and doors, driven by a desire for violence and domination. No one felt safe, as the randomness of his attacks made targeting impossible. Ramirez left behind a whisper of sulfur, a satanic pentagram drawn in blood, and a trail of unimaginable pain. What terrified the public most was the lack of pattern. Ramirez targeted men, women, and children, wealthy and poor, sparing neither the weak nor the strong. Each attack seemed more brutal than the last, stoking already rampant fear. His demonic actions and the chilling symbols he left behind earned him the reputation of a killer from hell itself. As detectives raced against time, the pressure mounted. Evidence collected at the crime scenes painted a horrifying picture. Bloody footprints revealed a killer who taunted his pursuers with brazen confidence. A shoe print from an Avery sneaker became a crucial lead, but it wasn't enough to stop the slaughter. On August 24, 1985, the horror escalated in Mission Viejo. Bill Carnes and his fiancée, Inez Erickson, were asleep when Ramirez entered their home. The attack was swift and brutal. Although left for dead, Inez survived, providing a detailed description of the attacker. With her help, police crafted a composite sketch, airing it across the city in a desperate plea for the public's assistance. What investigators found in the following days would change everything. We will get to that. But first, a fingerprint lifted from a stolen car linked Ramirez to the crimes, providing the crucial breakthrough law enforcement needed. His criminal record revealed a history of violence and theft, solidifying his identity as the Night Stalker. Yet it was the citizens of Los Angeles, fueled by fear and determination, who would deliver justice. As Ramirez's face splashed across newspapers and television screens, the city held its breath. The killer had a name, but his whereabouts remained unknown. On August 30, 1985, that changed. In a twist of fate, Ramirez attempted to steal a car in East Los Angeles. His attempt failed, igniting a chase through the neighborhood. Residents recognized him from the news and pursued him relentlessly, eventually capturing him in a citizen's arrest. The people of Los Angeles, once paralyzed by fear, had become their own heroes. They brought the Night Stalker to his knees before the police arrived, a testament to the power of a community united against evil. As Ramirez was taken into custody, the city exhaled, their nightmare finally over. In court, Ramirez's chilling calm and lack of remorse shocked the nation. He reveled in his notoriety, brazenly flashing a pentagram drawn on his palm. Prosecutors argued his crimes stemmed from a deep-seated belief in Satanism, that he found power in his atrocities. His trial became a media spectacle, captivating and horrifying the public. Evidence showed a man consumed by darkness. Ramirez's fingerprints, the Avery sneaker, and survivors' testimonies painted a damning picture. A jury found him guilty of 13 counts of murder, along with numerous other felonies, sentencing him to death. Yet behind bars, Ramirez remained unmoved, his infamy growing like a shadow over the years. The horror inflicted by Richard Ramirez during his reign as the Night Stalker left indelible scars on Los Angeles. But the story of ordinary citizens rising to end his terror stands as a testament to courage and resilience. The fingerprint, a single mark on a stolen car, sparked the downfall of a monster. And the people who captured him reminded the world that, even in darkness, light prevails. Richard Ramirez's capture in East Los Angeles marked the end of a terror-filled chapter, but it was just the beginning of unraveling the twisted labyrinth of his crimes. Investigators were faced with a daunting task, piecing together the chaotic timeline of his attacks, identifying a pattern among the randomness that had once seemed his greatest weapon. Detectives painstakingly reconstructed Ramirez's movements, analyzing each crime scene for connections. Evidence mounted: the Avia sneaker print, stolen jewelry found in pawn shops, and the satanic symbols left etched in blood. Witness testimonies further painted a portrait of a man who operated with an eerie blend of savagery and ritual. Yet, amidst this evidence, contradictions emerged. Ramirez had no fixed modus operandi. Unlike many serial killers who followed distinct patterns, Ramirez's methods varied wildly. Some victims were shot, others were bludgeoned, some even strangled. The inconsistency challenged investigators' typical profiling techniques, making it difficult to predict his next move. This unpredictability was a hallmark of his reign, keeping both the public and authorities in constant suspense. But one consistent element linked many of the crime scenes: the pentagram. It was a chilling signature, one that Ramirez seemed to revel in, a symbol of his allegiance to the dark forces he claimed to worship. Yet, despite his attempts to project an image of the supernatural, it was the very human clue of a fingerprint that would become his undoing. This fingerprint, left on a stolen vehicle near one of the crime scenes, matched one in the criminal database. Ramirez, previously arrested for car theft, had unwittingly left a traceable mark, a slip in an otherwise elusive predatory existence. The fingerprint provided a concrete link, a rewatch moment for many, as it symbolized the shift from fear to empowerment for the investigators. Another pivotal piece of evidence emerged from the testimony of survivors, such as Maria Hernandez and Inez Erickson. Their descriptions of Ramirez were crucial, bringing to life the features of the man whose face had been a phantom in the nightmares of Los Angeles residents. Their courage in the face of terror drove the investigation forward, a beacon of resilience against Ramirez's malevolence. A striking moment occurred during the trial, a rewatch-worthy segment that captivated the public. Ramirez, clad in black and with a devilish grin, turned to display a pentagram tattoo on his palm, amplifying the chilling aura surrounding his persona. This act, a deliberate provocation, sent shivers through the courtroom and beyond, cementing his image as a remorseless villain. Yet the most shocking element of the case came not from the evidence itself, but from the revelation of Ramirez's childhood. Growing up in a troubled household, exposed to violence and dark influences from a young age, Ramirez's descent into darkness seemed almost predestined. His cousin, a Vietnam War veteran, had shown him graphic photos of brutal acts and initiated him into drug use at a young age. This early exposure to brutality and chaos painted a harrowing backdrop to Ramirez's own path of destruction. Today, Richard Ramirez's name remains synonymous with terror. Though he was sentenced to death, he died of natural causes in 2013 after spending nearly 2 decades on death row. His legacy is a haunting reminder of humanity's darkest potentials. Despite his death, one unsettling question lingers. What truly fueled Richard Ramirez's monstrous transformation? The depths of his psyche remain largely unexplored, leaving an unsettling void in the narrative, a chilling reflection on how the seeds of evil can take root and flourish. Even in death, Ramirez casts a long shadow. His story is a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk within, fueled by a past that refuses to stay buried.